The Media Brothers 2.0, episode number 67, launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Media Brothers 2.0, episode number 67. This is Aaron.
This is Andrew, 67, 1967, man. What's
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How's it going?
What happened in 1967? Tell us.
I'm looking here, and I don't
I
really
know you looked it up before the show started.
I don't really see much, but there's two things. There's two big ones, actually. There's actually two big ones here. The Beatles put out Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So that was their album release.
Okay, boo.
Yeah,
What
boo.
else?
And then Jimi Hendrix set his first guitar on fire during a performance in Astoria, London.
Now, that might be epic.
Yeah,
Pretty
so
epic.
it's 1967 is the first
Had
time.
I wonder if anybody else had burnt their guitar before that.
I'd have to say no. Like, who would
Or is
burn
he
their...
the first guitar burner?
Well, I mean, you got to think. Why would you burn your guitar? unless you're on high amounts of drugs or whatever
What's going on, brother? What's going on?
What's up, man? I mean, we got a lot to talk about. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened in the last couple of weeks. I'm here. I'm in the new studio.
A lot of stuff's happening. It's
the
like,
new-
we're gonna talk about stuff, and I'm gonna after the show, I'm gonna be like, man, I want to talk about like 10 more different things.
Yeah, and I'll give you another 67. Just throw you another bone. Mickey Mantle hit his 500th career home run. There you go. So,
Nice. 500.
but we're here, man. The Media Brothers are episode 67. We're back. We're not canceled yet. Somehow, I don't know how. We're still on the air.
Why would we be canceled? What did we do?
We're still not canceled. That's a old Chappelle show joke. Dave Chappelle on his very first episode of that he was like, "We're still not canceled yet." It was his first episode. Shout out Dave Chappelle. But yeah, 1967. That's a long time ago. I mean, it's weird to think now we're pretty close to that we're in 2022, so we're gonna get there eventually.
Hey, let me just talk about NFTs real quick. I'm still dabbling in NFTs because I do think that everything's kind of undervalued right now because of the stock
for sure.
market and crypto's down, stock market's down. Actually, the stock market had a good rebound Friday, but I imagine it's going to continue to fall down. I mean, my 401k is down like half.
Ooh,
I think,
rough.
took a big hit in my 401k. But you know what? When it goes back up, everything I'm putting in now, I'm buying cheap. So, and that's the way I look at when it comes to like crypto and also NFTs is, I'm buying cheap now because in 5 to 10 years, these things can be worth a lot more money than what they were. So, Lord of the Rings released all their movies as NFTs.
they did what?
They released their movies as NFTs, and they also released a special NFT that had all 3 movies. I missed the special NFT, but I got all 3 of their actual movies on NFTs, and
Wow.
it's a fan experience and all kind of stuff you can. There's a lot of like stuff you can do with these NFTs. It's not just a NFT per se.
So how's the movie even? So you're telling me that you own the Lord of the Rings the Bane 3 movies, by the way. Nobody cares
All
about
3
those.
of them. I
So-
own all 3 of them.
In
Yes.
NFT 4. So what does that mean exactly? Can
So
you
it means
watch
I
them?
can. So I can watch them. So basically, I can go to the NFT, hit a button, and it says play or a fan experience. And there's a fan experience where you can do all kind of like games and puzzles and stuff like that. And
Cool.
there's also on the NFT I can hit play and it'll have the actual movie in 4K quality, and I can just stream it to my TV or whatever. I just hit AirPlay.
What platform was that through?
It's their own. WB's doing their own NFT thing. So WB got with another company that did NFTs, and they combined. And now WB is saying they're about to go full force in the NFT. So Lord of the Rings was their first venture. So this is the first WB
Interesting.
NFT and the first official Lord of the Ring NFT. So I had to buy as many as cheap as I could, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I bought 3 blind boxes. I actually got the common, the uncommon, and the rare, which is the 3 movies. And I didn't get the secret rare, which was $100 because I was late.
It was gone.
I meant to go in right at time, and I was like
Gone.
2 hours late. Yeah.
You got late.
And so I luckily got on the blind boxes. I got 3 blind boxes, and I got all 3 movies. I was expecting to get a double and have to sell them. Now the rare movie already is worth like 115 on the market today,
it's already
and I
going
bought
up.
it for 30. I bought it for 30, right? And I bought all 3
Yeah.
up for 30. So I bought 3 $30 blind boxes. So I have one NFT worth more than what I actually paid for the 3 blind boxes. and it's the first NFT, so I'm excited about that. It's something different, you know. I'm still investing in them. I'm still collecting them.
Yeah.
On VV, I have over 70 actual 3D NFTs, 3D model NFTs, and I actually have like 30 comic book NFTs. So I'm over 100 NFTs just on VV alone.
100 on VV. So my question, like, I never. So this is the first time I heard a movie was actually converted into it.
The first time I think they've done it. I think.
It's gotta be.
I mean, maybe it may be out there in some other form, but this is the first time it's actually
legit
like in the news.
Yeah.
It's in the news. People are talking about it, and I mean, it's the first movie NFT, so obviously, right? So it's gonna be worth money, right?
If it's the first one, yeah, and that's
and
the thing.
Lord of the Rings, which is epic.
Yeah, so there's two things I want to talk about this. So first of all, I never heard of a movie NFT. I knew the only other time I've heard the term movie and NFT together was when Kevin Smith and everybody knows Kevin Smith. He did Clerks.
That's right.
And all that.
He did it. That's right.
Yeah, and so he made an actual film where he hired actors, wrote a script. Actually filmed the entire movie. That's an NFT, and he sold it or whatever, I think. Anyway, to one person who now has the rights to distribute it. So Kevin Smith has a movie nobody's seen that's an NFT. That's the only other time I've heard it. So the fact that you're bringing a known franchise like Lord of the Rings, which, by the way, Lord of the Rings is one of the biggest fantasy franchises of all time. That's what I want to, number two, I want to talk to you about. But the fact that they're bringing in the Lord of the Rings franchise NFTs and WB supporting it, it just shows you, y'all, where the market's going. Like, this is all digital stuff's going to go to NFTs, whether you like it or not. I've been saying that, and Aaron's right. It's kind of been slept on a while. It's kind of declined, but that only means because the entire market has. It's going to go back up, and once the digital, like metaverse and all whatever you want to say takes over, all this kind of stuff's going to be huge. So I think Lord of the Rings getting in early is pretty interesting to me. So that brings me to my next question, which I haven't finished the series. But I mean, the Lord of the Rings Amazon series really made me stop watching it. Like, it was just that boring to me. Have you finished that? Have you actually watched it?
Actually, so what I did is, this is something I wanted to talk about. It's a really good series. It's super good.
Yeah.
But Game of Thrones is so good.
I know. That's the whole
So
problem.
what I plan on doing, the plan that I plan on doing
quit.
is I stopped at the first 3 episodes of Lord of the Rings.
Me too.
I said I'm just going to halt on it because I really want to give it a chance. I think it's a great story. And the CGI,
looks good.
and it looks beautiful. It looks better than Game of Thrones. I mean, it is.
Yeah, it looks better.
But I mean, I want to give it a fair chance, but I can't do that when it's going head to head with Game of Thrones. So I decided to stop at episode 3.
Definitely.
Let's go. We got one more episode of Game of Thrones tomorrow night, which we'll get into that in a second because Game of Thrones
it's unreal. It's next level.
Episode 7 was epic, right?
It's next level.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get through the next one, and then I'm gonna start the whole series over again and give it the due it deserves because I think it deserves it. I think it's just as good as a story. It's just not the same kind of thing as Game of Thrones that people are expecting.
No.
To be like Game of Thrones and gory, and so it's not like that.
No.
But it's just as good, I think, in its own way.
And it's so interesting you said that. We're in entanglement mode, and we'll get to that later on too. But me and Aaron are entangled because, like, right now, and we said this, by the way, on this very podcast, that I said it. I said, do you think Lord of the Rings was smart going up the same exact time up against House of the Dragon, which is Game of Thrones prequel?
We talked about it.
Yeah, we did, and I said it was a terrible idea because everybody, like, Game of Thrones is like so like entrenched in pop culture right now. Lord of the Rings was good back in like the late 90s and early 2000s, and then everybody forgot about it. So like Bezos was bringing it back, which is great, and I think it would have had its niche. But you cannot go up against. And let me say one other thing. You can't go up against how solid this Game of Thrones House of the Dragon is, because I gotta tell you,
dude,
man,
it may be better than the original.
The first season,
it's that good, bro. I love everything about it. There's nothing I don't like about this season.
It's so good. The thing about the House of the Dragon is there's no slow moments. Like this show is moving, man, and like they're doing time jumps. They're jumping 10 years at a time, like, and everything that happens in the House of the Dragon is epic. And like you're just literally glued to the TV. Like and by the way, it's HBO's biggest premiere. They have the biggest ratings of all time for HBO. It is growing from each week. People are watching this like more than any other show on HBO history. And the weird thing to me is, the funny thing to me is, the Game of Thrones finale in the last season, everybody took a shit on it because like it was so rushed, kind of. And that just shows you how good that show, the old Game of Thrones, was as a whole, because everybody jumped in the House of Dragon, and then now, like, it's so good that you couldn't go up. Like, I mean, honestly, it has to be the best show on air right now, the Game of Thrones House of Dragon. So I don't know how you would put another fantasy show up again. It was a bad idea of Bezos and the Amazon Prime to go up against this show, because the House of the Dragon is just next level. And
I don't know if they did it or not. I think they set the date. I think maybe Game of Thrones set the date on top of them.
They might have been waiting,
because I think the House Lord of the Rings was announced last year sometime, way before Game of Thrones announced their date.
They might have rushed it to get it on air at the same time. And the thing is, and I'll say this last thing about this topic, because Game of Thrones and House of Dragon is kind of adult. Like, it's kind of really, like, they have, like, adult themes and, like, you know, like gore and sex and all this stuff going on, and like, just like, they're roasting people are dying, getting murdered, like, people's heads are getting crushed in. Remember, did you see that one where, like, the dude just came in and, like, took the dude's, like, face, like, just slit his throat, like, Daemon? I'm not gonna, like, spoiler alert, but this dude's, like, in a whole hall of everybody, and they're like, he's like having this huge speech, and this dude just comes up behind him and boom, he slits his throat, like, out of nowhere. It's just like, that stuff is not happening in the Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings, as good as it is, it's more of like PG-13, whereas House of the Dragon / Game of Thrones is like rated R, and that's the difference.
It's exactly the difference, but so there's some good PG-13. The story is great, right?
I like no, hold on. Let me just say this: the Lord of the Rings show had me, like, interested enough, but I just could not. Once again, me and Aaron, this is my brother, man. We're obviously brothers, because I'm like, I'm going to give it a chance once House of Dragon's over. And I guarantee you I'm going to like it. But you can't, the problem is you're watching two shows that are in the same genre, and one's just next level, man. It makes the other one look like shit no matter what. So if you put some space in between them, I think Lord of the Rings is going to have a lot. I think it would have done a lot better if it wasn't going up against House of the Dragon. Absolutely. For sure.
So do you see what's on the screen? This is the rare NFT that I have right now. So this is the rare NFT. It's the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring Extended Edition, Mines of Moria.
Morla. We'll say Morla.
But it's a Web3 movie experience NFT. And so what it includes is the full-length feature film, extended edition, 4K. Okay, and also 8 hours of special features plus commentaries.
8 hours.
Mines of Moria specific image galleries. And Mines of Moria specific AR collectibles. I don't know what AR collectibles
is. That's AR. So we talked about that last show, like AR versus VR. What are you getting? You're getting an AR collectible. I would think you have to have a headset for that, or maybe it's one of those things where you point your phone camera and it puts the AR figurine or whatever of it. So Aaron has actual more stuff than he thought. He has the movie and collectibles and AR. This is really cool, man. I'm looking at it. He's going through the NFT website, which is interesting, and it's showing the Lord of the Rings. He has the full featured film plus the extended version, and then all this other stuff that comes with. This is the future, y'all. If you can't see it happening, like Lord of the Rings is buying in NFTs and WB. This is it, man. They're gonna give you movies and stuff, and you're gonna collect stuff that comes with the movie.
And it's collectible, so I can sell it. See, list for sale right here. I could sell it right now if I wanted to.
And that's the thing. That's the thing about this. Like, usually when you have digital,
let's look at the listings for it.
When you have digital assets, like if I download a movie, I can't sell it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I download a bootleg movie, if I do, it's against the law. So this is kind of the way to circumvent that. And if people are actually involved with the movie studios and stuff, this is, dude. Said it. We said it on this podcast for a long time.
$995 for it right now.
This is the future.
$1,000.
You're looking at the future. Like, Aaron, I'm serious, man. And I'm not like I've always been on the NFT side. I just think they were too soon. And then everything has to start somewhere.
Well, but I mean, you say too soon, but if you get on early, is the thing, bro. You got to get on early. You know, it's just the way the earlier stuff that you have, the more it's going to be worth in the future because it's going to be more collectible.
And the thing is, y'all,
is going to want it.
The future is digital. The future is digital. And so this is the future. Like
the $69 is what it's going for right now.
Collecting like famous movies. And so, you know, I'll show you another, like, for instance, I haven't checked into VV since a while. I'm just going to say it, but One of the things,
it's garbage. I mean, your stuff's worth nothing.
Well, one of the things I own on Vivi that never lost. I wonder where it's at. Was the
it's
DeLorean?
Like $18 maybe.
So the DeLorean is now nothing, right? So what you're telling me?
$18.
So I mean,
they released the new. So the thing about Vivi is they released too much stuff, I think, but they released the new DeLorean from Back to the Future 2 this weekend on Friday. And it's over 100. But the thing about it is, it can fly. Like you can control it like a drone on your in AR. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, what they've done is it's definitely it's breaking it's new.
Yeah,
something that's never been done.
So you're telling me they released another DeLorean and took a shit on mine.
The one where the wheels fold up underneath it. You know what I'm saying? And
and it has the Back to the Future 2 one has the trash machine on top. Remember?
That's right. So it's the flying version of that of the actual DeLorean.
Where we're going, we don't need roads, Marty.
I tell you what they did release. They released Jim Henson this past last Saturday.
Muppets?
No,
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, Labyrinth.
There's 4 characters from the Labyrinth. And I got all 4 of them because I think they're going to be collectibles.
Labyrinth. If you talk about Jim Henson, who's known for the Muppets and all that kind of stuff, Labyrinth is his whatever, his Picasso, if you will. Labyrinth is by the way, it's David Bowie's in that.
Yeah.
Labyrinth is really a good movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's old, I guess the 80s movie at this point. I don't know. I would have to say. But Labyrinth is Jim Henson's artwork with a good written story. So what did you get? You got the Labyrinth characters? So
yeah, I'm gonna show you.
Aaron is like the NFT king. I'm just saying. I have
a bunch of NFTs. I have a lot of recurring NFTs too. I have Care Bears. I have a Hello Kitty.
Care Bears.
Nickelodeons. Yeah, dude, they're all worth money.
You have Hello Kitty?
I have Hello Kitty. I have 3 Hello Kitties NFT. No, 5, I think.
Do you have any My Little Pony shit? Are you a brony?
No, they haven't done My Little Pony yet, but if they do, I will get them because they will be worth money for sure.
He'll be an NFT brony at that point.
Sure. No, so I'm still on board. Dude, I've made so much money in them. So like in PV, I got the Darth Vader secret rare like at low edition. Right. So I sold for like $4,800. So I've just been using that to buy the stuff I want on Vivi.
Oh, so
and then I got it on HRO. I got a $2,000 card I sold, and I've been just living off of it for a while too. So that's what I'm doing. If I'm hitting big, I'm selling them at the right times,
right?
And I'm using that extra money to keep purchasing things that I want that I think it's gonna be worth value in the future. That's what I'm doing.
So you're investing like up front, but then you're taking that and flipping it and getting all this other shit, which people are paying money for.
Right. So I've only invested a small amount of money.
You're not actually losing money.
I'm just playing. I'm playing with the house's money, kind of like what you would say.
Yeah, well, it's just cool because the thing is, the point of what you're doing is you're also storing all this stuff. So when the market does go up, and it will inevitably, because that's what this stuff does.
Everything's definitely going to go up.
Then all that stuff you have is worth a lot more than it was when you got it. And so that was the whole thing with this.
That's That's why I'm buying right now for sure.
Yeah, and it's gonna happen because I don't want to stay in the NFT realm because we haven't done this kind of in a long time. But the NFTs, y'all, are the future. Period. I mean, it's just how it's gonna go. I mean, I know I keep saying it. We said it in Media Brothers 1.0 where Bitcoin was the future. This is the next thing. This is the next thing because people are gonna. Basically, what's going to happen is you're gonna be that Ready Player One person. People are going to have VR goggles on. You're going to be in a whole other world, and Aaron's going to be ahead of the game because he has all this stuff that's like officially licensed in tokens and NFTs. And he's going to be able to sell them for a lot more than they're worth now.
The thing cool about Vivi is they're 3D collectibles. So that, like I'm showing you Hoggle right now from the Labyrinth or whatever.
Yeah, Labyrinth. That's right.
How do I zoom in on this?
That's Hoggle. By the way, Hoggle's hilarious. He looks great.
I mean, it's a. Oh, you can't even see it because you're not on the right page anymore. How do I zoom in? There it is. Hang on, let me show you this.
Hoggle from Labyrinth. By the way, let's see what Labyrinth was. David Bowie, Labyrinth. I'm gonna say is what do you want to guess, bro? What do you think Labyrinth year was? I'm gonna say 89. 19. Oh, dude.
Sounds good. 88 or 89.
It's the entanglement year. We had a whole show on this year. 1986.
Yeah.
We should have known. Yeah. Should have known. What a great movie, though. That's a really good one. Labyrinth, 1986. Jennifer Connelly, by the way, and David Bowie.
Connelly.
Yeah, and she's great, man, in that movie. That's a real. I haven't seen that in a long time. By the way, did you know that George Lucas was the producer of that? I did not.
Yeah.
The budget of that movie, the budget of Labyrinth, they spent $25 million to make the film Labyrinth, and it made $34 million in the box office.
Is that all it made? 34 million? But it made a lot
only
after 34.
It's one of those cult classics, though.
It definitely made more after that, for sure.
Yeah, it made a lot on VHS and all that stuff. But, I mean, David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly, and then Jim Henson and George Lucas. I mean, those are huge names.
Definitely huge names, for sure.
Like today, like, you know, if you would put out a movie like that with like the biggest pop star, music star, and then one of the biggest actresses, and then have like J.J. Abrams doing it, then it would be worth a lot of money. That's all I'm saying. It would make way more than $34 million. Look at this guy, this Hobbler guy. This is hilarious. Looks awesome. Just zooming into Hobbler.
Look at the back.
Oh,
Look at the back. His vest. I mean, they went to complete detail with this.
They did. He has like.
Look, he's got a pipe and everything.
Yeah, dude.
And like that's just where his tobacco is. This thing on his chest.
Yeah, Labyrinth NFTs, man. How much did you get for that? How much did you pay for those? How much did you pull those off?
They were 30 each.
That's not even bad. I mean, that's not bad for if you're talking about NFTs in general. I can't believe. So what else?
I mean, it's not worth that right now, but the one that is worth that is this one. This is the secret rare. It's Sir Didymus. Didymus.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Didymus.
I'm trying to see what the floor price is of it right now.
Didymus.
Yeah, so it's like 51. So I mean, it's more than what I paid for it. But I'm in it for the long haul on these, you know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah, and that's
this is the one that looks cool.
If you're gonna be, yeah, oh look at that.
Ludo.
Well, I don't
he looks
see it.
best.
I don't see it.
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't matter. So yeah, so NFTs are not going away, and if you didn't think they were, I mean, so these big studios now, Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna ask you, Aaron, how long till we get a Game of Thrones NFT?
They may have them already.
You think? Oh, look at that guy. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the Labyrinth. Ludo.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Yeah,
anyway.
that looks awesome. So yeah, so we can. I just wonder, what are we gonna get like really mainstream? What is the most mainstream NFT? Is the question. I would think Lord of the Rings at this point.
Well, I mean, you have so Vivi has Disney and Marvel, and DC, and HRO has DC, and I have the Bat Cowl. DC, that's DC also, but I have the Bat Cowl NFT, which is doing really well. They're giving out free NFTs like left and right. Like I bought this Bat Cowl for like $3, I think. I don't know, a few months back, and they produced only so many like random like Bat Cowls, like the Bat helmet, you know, with the ears and everything.
Yeah, the cowl, yeah.
The cowl, yeah.
Sure.
And so I bought that, but then they started just sending out random. It was a part of an experience supposed to last 2 years. There, they started sending random NFTs out. Like I got a Harley Quinn NFT. I got like 7 NFTs just for the price of one, and some of them are worth like $200 or $300. It was It's crazy.
That's nuts. So a lot.
And today they're worth that much. So imagine what they're going to be worth, say, 5 years when everything gets back on track.
I would say anything DC or Marvel would be the most mainstream. You're right, like the Bat Cowl.
And Disney. So just they have Disney Golden Moments, which are stupid.
So I'm gonna pivot here because I think this is hilarious because this is
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's an ongoing topic that we talk about on this show. George R.R. Martin put out a new book, and guess what? It wasn't.
What?
It wasn't the new Game of Thrones book, but
of course.
He's wrote. By the way, if you're keeping score, he's written 4 books since the last Game of Thrones book. So he's George R.R. Martin, which we make fun of, WordStar and all this shit. He says The Winds of Winter is going to come out soon. By the way, he's been saying that for 10 years, which is the next book.
It's not coming out, bro.
And the Song of Fire, Ice and Fire series, which is the Game of Thrones series. So the show that's on air right now on HBO, he already wrote that book in between, which is called House of Dragon. And so now he's doing a new book called Rise of the Dragon, and it's coming out. And so...
Wait. So he never finished... Are you saying he never finished the Game of Thrones, but
that's right.
he decided to write a different book?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so now we have...
the same series, though. The same series, but
the same series. So,
shut your face.
The Rise of the Dragon, by the way, is what it's titled, hits shelves in just a few days. And if you're a fan of George R.R. Martin and the Song and Fire of Ice books, you should know how big of a deal this is. And I'm going to quote this. This is from Forbes, by the way, Forbes.com. Sure, this is not the book we've all been waiting for impatiently all these years. The Winds of Winter. The Winds of Winter remains unfinished and unpublished. So, despite everything,
he's never gonna finish it.
So, by the way, like I just had to bring this up because, by the way, Fire and Blood was the book that he put out after the last Game of Thrones book, which was or Song of Ice and Fire, which was Dance of the Dragons, I believe. So the next one was supposed to be Winds of Winter. So instead, he put out one called Fire and Blood. That was the first one he put out.
Fire and Blood.
And Fire and Blood is where House of the Dragon comes from. So they're already. By the way, if you're keeping score, HBO Game of Thrones already went through his whole history, and now they're on his second book, History with House of the Dragon, and it's never even finished the 7th book in his series, which was Winds of the Winter. So if you're keeping score at home, for whatever reason, George R.R. Martin's writing other books instead of finishing the House Song of Ice and Fire. What the hell, bruh?
What the
hell is going on? Like, seriously. And so I have no idea what's going on. The only thing I can think of is he might be like, since this show on HBO, The House of the Dragon, is going on, maybe he's expanding on the books, and he's making like a new way of putting that book out. I don't know. The point is, George R. R. Martin, forever, he's gonna die before this next book comes out.
Oh,
the real book. And I mean, this just proves it to me. He put out another book called The Rise of the Dragon. So and if you look here, it says an illustrated history of the Targaryen dynasty, and it's, by the way, it's volume 1. So what do you think that means? He's gonna put out more books in the Targaryen dynasty. It's volume 1.
What the hell?
I can't figure out this shit. I really can't, man. I don't know what that one's about. So George R.R. keeps writing books that aren't Game of Thrones. I don't know what's going on, Aaron. I don't know. Do you think he's just doing it to troll people at this point? Like, what do you think?
No. I think that there's more money in writing a new book than writing a book that's already been done. And he knows he probably can't improve so much. He definitely can't improve on HBO's ending, but the problem is that everybody's going to always compare it to it. So he didn't want that pressure, so he just started to go off and do something different, which I don't blame him. But just say, look, HBO finished it. I'm not finishing it. Just let us know. Don't keep us like wanting and waiting for the new one.
Yeah, and another weird thing about that is that he said the rumor is he was kind of testing the ending in the HBO show, and since it got heat, he's gonna change the whole entire ending and make it something different. Which I can see that happening. I really could, because he's like a lot of people got backlash from the HBO and how it ended, so maybe he was testing that, almost like a test market. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, okay, he's gonna come back and say, I'm gonna change it just a little bit up. And what's crazy is that speaking of House of the Dragon, I know we're kind of hard on that, but there's a Jon Snow series coming out soon, right? Do you know about that?
Yeah, I heard something about it. I don't know.
So they're filming that right now with the same actors and everything. So Kit Harington is reprising Jon Snow, and it's going to be after everything you saw in Game of Thrones. So what they're saying is, if you're watching House of the Dragon, not to give too much away, but the main king, Viserys, keeps talking about a prophecy. And then they're saying that prophecy will get fulfilled in Jon Snow's show. So they're going to connect two of these shows together. And it makes sense if you think about it. It really does.
Well, I'm sure they're all going to weave back towards Game of Thrones. They have to.
I would think they have to.
Yeah.
But speaking of Dragon, I'm just going to pivot really hard on this, because Dragon is a SpaceX capsule that Elon Musk has
that was a good pivot. Good pivot.
Like that. So since the Crew Dragon's debut, this is very important for space news, by the way. We can dip into space news. Dragon SpaceX with the Dragon Crew debut, SpaceX has now flown more astronauts than anyone in history. I found that very important, right? That has to be serious, right?
That's got to be a huge fucking feather in Elon's hat.
I mean, you got to think now that he's better than the government, which has been doing it for how many years? 100 years? I mean, how many years have we been trying to fly people in space?
Forever.
And
since the 70s, right? 70s is when maybe 60s, late 60s is when we really got serious about it, I think.
Yeah, and so SpaceX now has the feather in their cap, like Aaron said, Elon specifically, but SpaceX now has the most people that they've ever flown into space as one entity. So that means they've flown more people into space than NASA, which I think that's the only one you're really talking about at this point.
I think it's all combined, right? Is that what it is? I think what I read, I'm not 100% sure of this, but I think what I read was they've sent more people into space than all other countries in the space programs combined. Is that what you heard?
Yeah, I'm like, while we're talking, I'm trying to like get the actual, the big headline, because that's another thing with fake news articles and stuff. They give you this headline and you got to kind of dig in the article to where the actual thing is. But I'm still looking at it. It's on the screen. If you can pull it out before me. Okay, let me just see. So the mission, which is called Crew 4, was the 4th operational mission flown by SpaceX for NASA. Earlier this month, the Crew 5 mission launched 4 astronauts to the space station. Well, they will remain for 6 months. So they're saying between Explorational 4 and Axiom 1, Crew Dragon has now carried 30 people into orbit. Wow. So they're talking about one. So you know what I think this is, Aaron? I think, you know how the SpaceX biggest thing and Elon's biggest thing was reusing capsules? And reusing actual equipment to fly back into space. That's his whole thing. He lands it back, you know what I'm saying, and then he puts it back into space. So I'm thinking what they're saying is that that capsule itself, since it's been reused, has now flown more than anybody else. And that makes sense. And that makes sense. But I still can't. I'm looking at all this stuff, and to be honest with you, I'm looking at this article.
No, the first time he used a double capsule, nobody else has reused one.
Yeah, I agree. But now you're saying, okay, here you go. And here's the I've been looking for the money shot, if you will. But in little more than 2 years, SpaceX has surpassed the total number of astronauts launched into orbit by China, by the way. So
really?
Whose human space flight program dates back to 2003. And in the time Crew Dragon has been operational, it has exceeded even the Russian Soyuz vehicle in terms of the total number of people flown into space at that period. So there you go. So they're talking about they beat China and they beat Russia. So Elon is on top of the space race, and there it is. I mean, that's a big one. I mean, so Elon has said, hey, and that was his biggest thing from the beginning was I'm going to keep reusing my spacecraft, and we're going to keep flying people, and that's why you're going to save money, right, Aaron? I mean, that's the whole thing.
It's 100%, right? Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
He's going to get it too.
Yeah. And so the other Elon news, I'll stay in Elon news. By the way, Elon has put in the bid for Twitter. I kept saying this from the beginning that he was going to end up getting it, and people told me I was wrong, and there's no way, but blah, 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 blah. So Elon has put in the bid for Twitter, and this is from AP News, by the way. Elon Musk plans to cut 75% of the Twitter workforce once he takes over. He's going to fire 75%.
No, I did see that for sure.
Of Twitter.
Yeah, I did see that.
So, by the way, Twitter's employee base is 7,500 workers. So he's gonna fire about $5,000, about 5 Gs.
You have to get under 2,000, I think, is what they were saying.
And what does that tell you, man? What does that tell you? Elon's cleaning house of Twitter, y'all.
We should.
I mean, it's just if you're gonna take over something with like Twitter and the crap that they were doing, you gotta clean house. Yeah. So I mean, dude, if I'm Elon and I'm taking over like Twitter, and they have like 500 employees, like in fact, I think that's not enough. I think 75% is not even enough, bro. What would you do?
Well, like I said, I don't even understand how you can have 7,500 employees at Twitter. What are they doing?
Yeah,
there's no way, bro. There's no freaking way.
I'll tell you what they're doing. They're running the bots.
Could be.
They're all running the bots. What else?
I understand they have a sales team and they have people who are responsible for getting more users, and I get all that. I get it. But 7,500, you can have. 2,000 employees seems like a lot for just that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say bots.
It's not like it's an integral website where they got to keep, I understand there's a lot of engineers, a lot of programmers. I get all that, but 7,500 employees, what are they? It blows my mind. Bro.
What possibly are you doing with 7,500? Let me just ask you: if you had 1,000 employees in Twitter, what are the 1,000 employees doing?
I think you could run it just exactly the same. I mean, better probably, more efficient.
You probably could.
Because you're not sending requests to like 10 different people to get something approved, or one of the things with Twitter is the whistleblower said that 90% of the people have access to the core code for it, and they can change whatever they want. 90% of the. I mean, come on. I mean,
in real time, by the way, in real time.
So it's a problem.
And not only that, they can view all your private data. All those people. So,
bro, J.J. Abrams got canceled again. Bro.
What is going on? Can I ask something right now? What is going on with J.J. Abrams, Aaron? Like, what's going on? I don't know
if it's just J.J. Abrams. I think HBO they sold out to Discovery, maybe.
Yeah, but
that's right or not. One of the two.
I think
that's what happened. But the problem is they cut a lot of stuff. I think this is probably one of the ones.
Yeah, I just feel like though once we I just feel like at the beginning of this podcast reboot, shout out 2.0. I feel like J.J. Abrams was on fire. Like he was getting these deals signed left and right, and we were like, J.J. Abrams. We even had a whole episode
because he hasn't done anything good since Lost, bro.
J.J. Abrams is on this. J.J. Abrams is on that. No, he's actually involved with Westworld, which I like somehow.
Is he? But what is he doing with it?
He's executive producing.
Exactly. He's doing nothing on
it. And so Warner Brothers Discovery struck down another one of J.J. Abrams' DC film projects. So, but by the way, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but shortly after WB kicked his Constantine reboot and Madam X shows off of HBO Max, they went after Zatanna, which I don't know what it is, but specifically J.J. Abrams' Zatanna, which was a movie. So this is a full-blown movie. It's now searching for a streaming home. Thus, another project, which I was very happy about, by the way, Justice League Dark. We talked about this. It's like the dark version universe of the Justice League, like the evil Superman, all that. That has also been canned. they've canceled that. So
I wonder how Black Adam's getting perceived by the audience. I've been hearing some mixed reviews, but I
don't think it's good, man.
It was people who so I heard a review from somebody who loved DC and they loved it, and then I heard somebody like a critic and they didn't like it. So I don't really rely on critics so much anymore. I kind of don't want to see what the Rotten Tomatoes score is for the audience. Can we look that up?
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. And there's a whole conspiracy about this right now, and I'll show you. With the Rotten Tomatoes Black Adam deal, they're saying no, it's bad. I'm gonna tell you straight up. But now I'll tell you that they're saying that people now are they're getting Rotten Tomatoes to make them. I know this sounds stupid, y'all, but they're saying that Rotten Tomatoes bad reviews gets the more publicity. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had a show and but it's a big DC with The Rock. Like everybody loves The Rock.
Yeah,
and then
what's the audience score? Do you have it?
Yeah, it's up here. So 41%. There you
go. For the audience or for the critics? That's the critic score. I don't care about the critic score.
Yeah, let's look at the audience. So there you go. Audience is 89%.
89%. See, that's going to be a good movie.
Yeah, so there you go. So 2,500 plus people have said 89% is the aggregate score.
Yeah, and 200 experts reviewed it at 41%.
Yeah,
which
and 200.
Critics, I don't agree with any of their stuff. So
yeah, but
I always agree with the audience 99%.
Here's the weird thing. This is flipped with the new Star Wars. Like what do you think about that? Did you like the new Star Wars trilogy? Because exactly the opposite.
But I mean,
the audience
Star
hated
Wars.
it.
So it's just like Lord of the Rings, the new one on Amazon. You got a lot of people who are like enthusiasts who don't like anything older than the original, and they think that you're ruining it. So they're all going to go in without even seeing the movie and fucking destroy it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I don't think Black Adam has that problem.
So Black Adam, you're right, may be a little bit different because it's a new product.
To me, it looks good, bro. To me, it looks really good.
It's still DC, so it's DC. And by the way, did you watch The Sandman, Aaron, on Netflix? Because
I watched the first episode. I did not like it.
Dude, it's so good, man. It's
I didn't give it enough chance.
It's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite DC property.
Yeah, I might need to give it more of a chance, bro. I didn't like the first episode. I thought it was. I don't know. I will add it to my list.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is about Abrams.
Have you started working on your list at all?
No, but I mean, I'm going to now that I have more time. I'll put it that way. I have a lot more time now, so I will be going. I was talking to somebody earlier about Yellowstone. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
I've never watched it.
It's awesome, bro.
So I've heard that was good. So I'm gonna dive into that first, just because
you'll like it.
Everybody I've talked to said that was good. But I mean, it's like Cowboys or whatever. How's that good? Like, can you get into that at all?
No, yeah, we can get into it. It's a good show. It's got a good story. It's got Kevin Costner in it, and the people the actors and actresses in this movie are really, really, really good. And it's about a landowner trying to stop the government and the Indian reservations from taking his land that he's had in his family for hundreds of years, which is like hundreds of thousands of acres in Montana, right on the edge of the Yellowstone Park.
Right.
And it's just like kind of like a battle trying to keep it.
Yeah, but that sounds boring.
There's murder. No,
how's that good?
It's not because it's not. It's just you gotta understand.
Okay,
there's drama to it, bro. There's murders and there's
like some stuff going on behind the scenes.
Theft, and you got a crew of kids working at the ranch who are like rough and tough rag people, and it's just different. You have to see it.
I'm gonna check out Yellowstone because somebody mentioned it to me. I'm gonna go down.
I haven't seen anybody who's watched it who didn't like it. Even Aaron likes it. So
yeah, and I'm gonna go down your list after that, for sure. So I just want to finish this J.J. Abrams story.
Titanic's I think at the top, so hopefully you get that quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna look everything in the we have.
Let's go over your list real quick. What did it say?
So that's actually good. Let me finish this story real quick, and then we'll go down my list. So I'm just gonna say that because this is important. I'm a huge J.J. Abrams fan in general because he did Fringe, Lost. He's done a lot of stuff I like. The new Star Trek. So anyway, this is the nitty gritty, and we'll move on. When J.J. Abrams signed a 5-year, $250 million deal with Warner Brothers, brother. That's a $250 million. Okay. Yeah. In 2019, some media outlets called him the savior of DC. 3 years later, which is now, none of his DC movies or TV shows have materialized. One of which was a black Superman from alternate universe. So they're saying he signed a $250 million deal, and none of his stuff has come through. That's the J.J. Abrams story, and I'll just leave it at that. So yeah. I think that's interesting.
Well, there's a reason.
Yeah, something. I mean, he must not have anything left in the tank, man. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
So let's go down my movie series this is actually a cool thing to go through because I haven't seen any of these things. If you go to the very top, The Neighbors. First
of all, on our Discord, we have all our channels, and we have everything we talk about is in these channels, down in our Discord channels. So, but also we have a section where they have movies and series Andrew hasn't watched and wants to. And then they have like our AI art gallery is there. I've added a bunch of AI stuff into that. AI generated art stuff into that.
And a lot of that today is from the entanglement news, which we might get into or maybe not. But a lot of the cool, the latest AI art that he's actually generated, which is from these stable diffusion, all this new AI, is from quantum entanglement. I have to say, it's really some of the coolest things I've ever seen from the AI so far, man. It's really good, man. That stuff's really good. So one of these Discord channels, by the way, on MediaBroShow.com, and you go to Discord and you can jump in there. Anybody can get in there. We have a channel called Movie Series, which is TV and movie, by the way, but that I need to watch, which is stuff that Aaron says I'm gonna like. And by the way, I had to preface this whole discussion with Aaron has always been like number one turning me on to stuff, and I always end up liking it, like almost 99% of the time. Like
we like a lot of the same stuff. So
and we're into the same stuff. Like a long time ago, he turned me on to Lost, and I loved it. And then Heroes was him, the old superhero show. Which, by the way, that was
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Get out of that.
Game of Thrones.
Show ever.
And let me tell you, Aaron and me were watching Game of Thrones before anybody even knew what it was. Like
I watched season 1 from season 1.
So Aaron told me, dude, you have to watch this. You're gonna love it. And I was hooked from this first episode. And then I was spreading it to other people, and then nobody even, they're like, dude, that's fantasy. And then it's crazy. You fast forward years later, every single person was watching that show, and I'm like,
everybody in the world knows what Game of Thrones is at this point.
And we knew like before anybody, and that was all him too. And then the other big one that you really turned me on to is one of my favorites, by the way, is Deadwood, the old Western on HBO, man. We
Deadwood that's one of the sad stories they've never finished, and they tried to come back and finish it with the movie,
and it was
a few years back, but it just didn't work.
It was okay.
No, there was so much they could have tied up in that movie, that TV show, bro. It was so good. Deadwood, if anyone wants a chance to watch a good TV show that doesn't actually end, but has a great story. The first, I mean, I guess how many seasons? I don't know how many seasons.
It's only two, I think.
2 seasons?
Maybe 3 at the most, I would think.
It's a really good show. It's set in the West, West.
So all this stuff, like, he has a good track record, so I pretty much trust what he says.
Okay, so this is a list, and you added some stuff to this list yourself, so it's not just about everything that I've added, but most of the stuff I've added.
I threw in like 1 or 2 things, but yeah, for sure.
Okay, so first off, we have The Neighbors.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the movie with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron where they had the fraternity house movie next door. Fraternity house movie next door.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna
Gotta see that.
I'm gonna. You know
It's
what
funny.
I'll do?
It's one of the funniest movies of all time.
I'm gonna start. I'll say it now, and Aaron ain't gonna believe me, but I'm gonna start at the top of this list. And
Oh.
by next week, I'm not watching Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic's number 2. That's what
I'm not
saying.
watching that one.
Your Titanic's about to get watched by somebody. Bro, you'll like
I
it.
just walked into that. I have to do it now, I guess. God damn it.
Mama watch it with you.
Yeah. I can't watch the 4-hour movie, but okay. All right.
Dude, yes, you have to watch. You have to.
Now I have to because I
He
just
said
said
about
I
it
was,
next. He said about it. So how many?
I
you
literally
gonna do?
just said I was
You
gonna
want
watch.
to do the Neighbors? You gonna do Titanic? You never seen Dances with Wolves either?
No, we had some. It was cause the reason this one's on there. By the way, Kevin Costner again.
And the Postman. That's Kevin Costner too.
Yeah, we must have been talking about Kevin Costner on an episode in May.
No, that's just 2 of them.
2022.
That's just the 2. We were talking
No,
about
Kevin Costner's also on Waterworld, so we have a whole Kevin
Yeah.
Costner
Discussion.
series. Yeah, definitely. And then we got. By the way, Dances with Wolves. I just know about it. I haven't seen it, so I was like I was too young at the time. Postman, I have no idea what that is. I don't even know what that is.
It's a post-apocalyptic world with Kevin Costner. It's good.
And then
Watch it.
Waterworld is obviously also Kevin
That's another
Costner.
post-apocalyptic world with
Yeah.
him. So he loves
I
this
used to
kind of making this kind of movies, I guess.
Yeah, he must be into that. And look, I like that kind of movie too. So yeah, I'm gonna do it, y'all. You heard it here first, by the way.
First
Media
of all, we
Brothers.
started this list back May 6th. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, in May 6th of 2022.
Okay, so the other ones are Surviving Death. That's the
I
show
don't even know
on
what that is.
Netflix about people who have near death experiences.
Oh yeah, which I've had a few of those myself.
Okay, so
that's probably all
Ozark.
we
You
did.
never finished Ozark? Did you even watch
I never
Ozark?
watched Ozark. So Ozark's on there because I knew how good it was and I never seen it. It's one of those Yellowstone type ones.
Okay, so Life After Death is the series. You don't have to watch a lot of that, but I want you to watch at least one episode. That's the dude who's the medium. You gotta watch
Yeah.
that. Skinwalker Ranch. That's about the UFOs.
No,
That's one
Skinwalker.
you definitely have to watch.
So wait, is it Skinwalkers? Those like shapeshifter aliens though?
Well, there's belief that that's what the ranch is named after.
But the
yes,
ranch has UFO activity on it.
yeah,
That's all we talked
portal
about.
activity. Portal
Yeah.
activity. Dino Hunters, which is you need to watch that with your daughter, but that's really cool. So they have these ranches out west. They look for dinosaurs in the ground because to support their ranching, and they find these big, huge dinosaurs and they dig them up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's actually really cool.
That's
and
cool.
Then Terminal List you put on there.
Yeah, you know what that is, right? Do you know what that is? It's
I
on
can't
Amazon Prime. It has Chris Pratt.
Oh, I saw it. It's
Was it good or not?
Yeah.
So
It's
should I keep it on there? Is what
Yeah,
you're saying?
keep it on there. Keep it
All
on
right,
there.
cool.
Collision Course
I've
video.
watched. So this is one I actually watched on this list, by the way.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't long
Okay,
after
so
you
we're
put it
gonna
on
have
there.
to take that one off.
Yeah, we can
Let's
delete
see,
that one.
delete. We'll delete message on that one.
So Collision Course was yeah, there he's gone. So Collision Course was what you call it, Linkin Park and Jay-Z and how they
Yeah.
made that album, which by the way, I love that kind of stuff. I love the behind the scenes, anything with music. I'm a musician, I'm a producer, so like by the way, that was like a seminal moment in music history, like 99 or 1999 or 2000.
Bro, Rent Across.
big
I
time.
meant to show you the other day. And I forgot. I never sent it to you, and I gotta go back and find it. But I saw another Jay-Z song mixed with a rock band.
What
I
was
think it's
it?
called Marshmallow, bro. If I thought, man, for some reason, Marshmallow is sticking out in my head right
Well,
now.
Marshmallow is like a DJ. I wonder if that's who it is.
No, it's Jay-Z and Marshmallow. It's the name of the song.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull it up, see if I'm right or not.
I don't know what that is. So Marshmallow. By the way, the only reason I'm talking about the Marshmallow is the only reason I know Marshmallow is a DJ is because he had a Coca-Cola flavor that came out as a limited edition, and it was actually pretty good. It was watermelon and cherry Coke, which this sounds terrible, but I know people out there that are listening don't like fruity Coke, but I liked it. It was a Marshmallow limited edition Coke, and I figured out. I thought he was a rapper,
Okay.
but he's not. He's
I'm
a
right.
DJ.
I'm actually right. So it's Juice WRLD, Jay-Z,
Shout out.
and Marshmallow. All three of them.
So you got the DJ Marshmallow, which I was just talking about, who has a Coke flavor, and you got Juice WRLD, rest in peace, who died of a drug overdose. I love Juice WRLD though. Juice WRLD's amazing. It's kind of emo rap, and I have to hear that Jay-Z. So yeah. So what's the name of the
8
song?
months ago. It's from 8 months ago.
So I will say this about Juice WRLD is he had a lot of what they call
Oh,
post
it's a TikTok remix. Okay. Wow.
So like Juice WRLD is he died of an overdose a couple years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh,
And
2 years ago.
Yeah,
So
and-
2 years. Cause this is from 2 years ago. This
and a lot of his stuff came out after he died. So shout out, rest in peace, Juice WRLD. My son likes him, believe it or not. He's like an emo rapper, but he's really good, man. He's on Eminem's albums, Juice WRLD, the newer Eminem albums, and so yeah, Juice WRLD is really nice. Good. He's like the new school rap, that Juice WRLD. So him, Jay-Z, and Marshmello. What's the name of the song? You don't have it.
Yeah, I do.
That's cool.
We'll talk about it. We'll
Speaking of Eminem, by the way, I'm gonna shout out Eminem. He set a world record. Eminem notches another song in Spotify's Billions Club. So that means a billion streams. But there's a few other artists who have a billion streams. But so Godzilla, you know that song, which is amazing, by the way, right? Godzilla. Yeah. And by the way, can I say something? Godzilla's 2020 collaboration with the late Juice WRLD.
Wow.
We just talked about it. We just did it again, by the way. But Juice WRLD, Entanglement alert. Godzilla's, which is, by the way, is on Eminem's 2020 album, which is where he raps really fast. Like, you remember Rap God? So Rap God is an Eminem song from like 18, or even further than that, where Eminem raps really fast. Like, Eminem's trying to rap as fast as he can. Yeah. Godzilla is the fastest Eminem rap that he's ever done. So
it's faster than Rap God.
It's faster than Rap God by beat. So I kind
of heard the song. I just don't really know.
You'll know when you go listen to it.
I've heard it. Which one you're talking about exactly?
You'll immediately know when you listen to it. And you're like, oh shit, and it's like.
But that's his sixth song to achieve that milestone, 1 billion downloads.
Yeah. And so Godzilla with collaboration, shout out Juice WRLD. It's almost like we set that up. Past the 1 billion streams mark on the streaming service. It's Eminem's sixth song to achieve the digital milestone, and the third this year. Following, by the way, the old school, the real Slim Shady from the year 2000. So the real Slim Shady passed 1 billion this year. And also Love the Way You Lie, which were Rihanna, which I didn't know that. That's interesting. And then Lose Yourself, Till I Collapse, and Without Me have also racked up more than 1 billion streams. We talk about 1 billion streams, by the way. He made like $1 million off of that one song.
He's become the first artist with songs from 3 different decades to hit 1 billion streams.
Yes, so that's the crazy. He's the only artist, dude. So that's the big news here. Eminem is the only artist from 3 decades of music, 2000, 2010, and then 2020. So he has those, and they're saying if any of his songs from his debut, which is the real Slim Shady LP, which I think might happen, by the way, he would be in 4 decades.
Yeah, but he only has 417 million streams on
so he only has 417 million
Slim Shady LP
from his 1999 LP.
Wow.
But dude, so if you want to say like the biggest artist of all time in the streaming world, Eminem has to take the cake. He has 3 decades of songs that all have 1 billion streams or more. Crazy. That's unreal, bro.
Bro, can we talk about the new Call of Duty? What we're seeing on?
Oh my God,
come across online right now.
The Modern Warfare
some of its
2
gameplay.
What do you want to say about it? I mean,
I just want to talk about the graphics of it. If anybody hasn't seen the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which I'm so pumped about, I love. In fact, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is what got me hooked on Call of Duty. I was already kind of hooked on Call of Duty, but Modern Warfare took it over the fucking edge for me. And so Modern Warfare 2, I'm really pumped up about. And so I guess people have been getting some demos of it. I'm not sure. Maybe early access is probably what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like.
And they're putting some stuff online. And dude, the graphics. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these people are running this stuff on high-end computers and stuff like that.
$10,000 computer.
But bro, it looks like real. It's almost real. It's like the closest to real that we've gotten yet, I think.
Yeah, and I'll even say this, like I'm watching so I'll have to let me preface this with Aaron. I was never a Call of Duty person. But the thing is, we talked about this on the show more than once. Me and Aaron played Quake back in the 90s and all this shit. Like we were a first person shooter.
Before anybody knows what it was.
Before anybody knew who it was. We played Doom. Back then, we played Duke Nukem, remember that? And Quake, and we played Team Fortress and all this stuff, and Half-Life.
Team Fortress was my favorite.
Team Fortress was the best, and then Half-Life and all this shit. But when this came out...
Loved Half-Life.
When Modern Warfare came out, Aaron had a PS3. I had one, but I was not into the console version of the first-person shooter. Like, So I didn't like, because all the first-person shooters I played, the ones I just mentioned, were all on keyboard and mouse. Like, that's how I learned it.
And I'm learning on a keyboard and mouse right now with Rust. So I'm playing so much Rust, bro.
Rust.
300 hours, I think, in.
So is that? But you're not in a first-person shooter. It is, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, it is.
I haven't played Rust.
The whole game's first person.
I'm gonna get into that with you. But so the thing is like me and Aaron both, we learned on keyboard and mouse. So when like Call of Duty became a big thing, it was huge back. I have to say like early 2000s, maybe 2008, somewhere around then.
That's when it took over.
Yeah,
right?
and somewhere around that time. And so I'll never forget this. I went to my brother's house, and he was playing it online. So he had his PS3. Remember where we're at now? PlayStation 3.
Because the PlayStation 2 had no online access.
There was no online. You had to buy a module. Nobody had that shit. So it was like garbage.
Playing with nobody. Bro.
It was basically like your brother on the down the block and shit. So PS3 came out, and I remember, I'll never forget. Like I can picture this moment. Like I walked into his house. He was like him and his buddy or whatever, Will, were like throwing down, and like they're like, your turn. I'm like, I don't want to play this. Like I can't do. And they threw me the controller. This was Modern Warfare 1. And dude, I was so against it.
What year was that?
Dude, I loved whenever Modern Warfare 1 for PS3.
I'm looking at it now.
I got over to Aaron's house, and I watched him, and I was kind of like, okay, this, and they had there was just this so fast paced, and
2007, by the way.
I said 08. I was close. I was close. So I was real close.
Before the iPhone was out.
It was right at the same time. It was all at the same time, man.
Bro, that
2007
2010
that's a marker.
Was amazing, bro.
So a marker would be to go back to that decade. Just watch the technology change in front of your eyes.
2010,
yeah. So right. I got to his house, and he was like, "You want to play?" And I really was against it, because at that point I was just playing Grand Theft Auto and Final Fantasy and all this bullshit. And I was like, but I have that first person shooter background, so I'm like,
that mentality. That's why I don't like it, bro.
And I'm like, I'll throw it on. And he threw me the PS3 remote, and I played, and I was shit. I wasn't good, but I killed a dude or two. And I was instantly fucking hooked, man. I went and bought the damn game. I left his house and bought the game on my way home. It was like that. I was like, holy shit! The adrenaline rush that happened. And then you had remember those old stupid Bluetooth headsets that people wore, they're walking around the first Bluetooth headset. And I know everybody knows out there.
It was the side of your whole head was a receiver.
It was the side of your ear is bigger than your ear.
You couldn't. What ear? You didn't have an ear when you wore that thing.
You didn't even have an ear. But you could sync that to the PS3, and you could literally talk shit and all these people playing online Call of Duty. By the way, Modern Warfare 1, and I literally bought the game, y'all, and the next 2 years of my life, that's all I did. And that was all.
So this is my challenge to you, bro. Why don't you play this new one with me together so we can get good together and play? I'm
all for it.
It comes out in November, so you need to figure out how to get it.
So what platform is the question?
I'm gonna do it on PlayStation.
Yeah,
I like Call of Duty better on PlayStation, bro. I'm so programmed into playing on PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's just
I know.
what it is.
So I need a new
I need a PlayStation.
I need a PlayStation 5. And have you seen? Speaking of that, have you seen the news about that?
No, I have not.
The PlayStation 5 has some news, y'all.
They finally getting them out in the market?
Well, we were talking about pros. Are they going to do a PlayStation 5 Pro? And the answer is yes.
They are. Right?
And so the dev kits, which are what you see in the console realm of technology, when consoles come out, you see a developer kit, which they call a dev kit. And so the PS5 Pro dev kit has made their way to the studio. So there is going to be a PS5 Pro coming out very soon. And they're also saying that games, it's been rumored for a long time, and they're saying already that games are going to come out that only support the PS5 Pro, which I find hilarious.
I know, so I'm going to have to get it. That's the thing. So do you think I'll be able to sell my PS5 and make money off that?
I mean, you have the original PS5 has to be worth something, right? I don't know.
I would imagine. What to look on eBay and see if they're going for.
So the PS5 Pro dev kits have gone out to developers. So I might hold off, but here's the thing. So they're saying that the Xbox Series X upgrade and the PS5 Pro may be released in 2023 or 2022.
Yeah, so we're still a year away. So I still have a year to figure it out.
We're about a year away, but here's the thing. I want to play this with you, because we going back to our old school. We are the original first-person shooter players.
I know.
I think we have to do it. I haven't
had a chance to really play much with you at all since so many years.
Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, we need to do it. I think it's like a no-brainer.
We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Let me go through one more. Let me pick my best story out for the last one. Let me see here. Oh, I love this one here. Check this out. We talked about this a few times. So check this out. You want to read that?
Technology that lets us speak to our dead relatives has already arrived.
Are you
Are
ready?
we ready?
Are you ready? So remember we said that.
Yeah, I've seen this story.
Yeah, but this is 2 days ago. So
Yeah, I saw a story like last week.
yeah, so they're saying now, you're gonna have an app with your dead relatives. I don't know what I feel about this, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
Technology like this, quote, this is from technologyreview.com, which lets
let me just say this. So as much, recording, we have 7 episodes today on this podcast.
That's right.
My daughter will be able to download all my words I've used on this podcast and build a computer bot of me when I die, and it'll be probably a lot more, particular than a lot of other ones because I have so much content out there for her to actually download into it.
What do you feel about that? Isn't that weird?
I think it's strange. I mean,
isn't that weird though? Isn't it kind of like a thing where it shouldn't happen? That's the way I feel.
I mean, I don't feel that. I mean, look, dude,
I don't know,
a lot of people a lot of what I'm seeing now is people are making plants out of their ashes. Have you seen that?
I have not.
So what they're doing is they're using their ashes and putting them into some kind of it's a new thing where they're using your ashes to grow trees and.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, put it in the soil.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're part of that actual tree itself. That's
kind of cool.
That's something that's starting right now too. I've seen a bunch of that.
Well, see, that's way different though than putting it virtually into a digital avatar, though.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is what. So
it's just a tree. It's just a fucking tree.
So say I die today. My wife wants to. Do you think she'll ever be able to? We talked about this a million times.
Yeah, we have.
Do you think she'll ever be able? I'll be able to say, okay, I'm going to download myself into this disk before I die, onto this the quantum computer.
Yep.
And and she can come visit me, kind of like the Amazon show.
I certainly do. Upload. I certainly do. And you know what? Not only that, I think with the quantum entanglement news, which we haven't even delved into at all this episode.
No, we're going to have to do this whole show on that because there's a lot to this. So we'll talk about it on next week.
I think next podcast has to be the quantum entanglement / simulation theory show.
Yeah,
because
I'll do some more homework on it. There's so much stuff going on.
And I will too. And we'll have an entire show. And look for it. I'm gonna say it right now. Next week, the next show, 68. Is going to be the quantum entanglement show, and I think because I'll tell y'all why. Out there, if you're listening, 3 guys just won a Nobel Peace Prize for proving quantum entanglement, and that's completely disprove Einstein and all this other shit that people thought were going on forever. So I think that's a great show to have a whole entire show.
So things can move faster than light.
They can move, and then the spaces in between 2 particles don't matter.
Right, because it's a real. I don't want to get into it, but I've done a lot of research on it. Recently, I'm doing more for the next.
Oh,
show,
I know all about this shit, brother.
But basically, to boil it down is when something happens on one end, it happens on the other end simultaneously.
That's right.
With
no matter how far apart.
There's no traveling distance. It's just it automatically happens.
And it proves. Sides. And you remember Schrodinger's cat experiment? You remember that?
Schrodinger's cat. Yeah.
It really makes that completely true, and for decades,
till you observe it, right? So you don't know if it's dead or alive until it's actually the cat is dead or alive until you actually
you open that box. And you know what? Right. This is a preview for the next episode because we can go into this a lot. But so the technology, this AI technology now. So I'm just going to quote from technologyreview.com. Technology like this, which lets you quote talk to the people who've died, has been a mainstay of science fiction for decades. Like me and Aaron said, we talked about it a million times. But now it's becoming a reality and increasingly accessible. And thanks to the advances in AI and voice technology. Yeah. So they're saying basically...
I don't know if I want to talk to my dad. I don't think I would. Because it's not him. You know what I'm saying? It's not really him.
But it almost would be him.
It would feel like him.
I know. So
it would not be him.
Let me ask you
something. He downloaded himself into a supercomputer. I would be okay with interacting with that.
He didn't, right?
Because that would be his consciousness downloaded. So I do not think that this is going to be AI. Is all it's going to be.
So let me ask you something though. How much different than this is than home videos with him talking?
But yeah. I mean,
because he filmed himself while he was alive, but he's not alive anymore.
Because you're asking this thing questions, you're talking to this thing. This thing's giving you different answers than
Yeah,
say
that's
Dad
a
would.
good point.
It wouldn't be the exact same thing that he would say, even though they have a really good shot of what he would say. It's not going to be exactly what he say because it's not really coming from him. So this is artificial.
It's not actually him, but no, I agree. Yeah, so you're right, and I just thought it was interesting to compare it to home video. We have a lot of home.
But people are
videos.
going to do it. People are 100% people are going to do it because
if
a lot of people can't deal with death. They can't deal with losing
right.
their loved ones. You know.
And I mean, if I have a home video of my dad, like which we do, we have actually a lot of them. Thankfully. That's actually him in his real environment when he was chilling, playing guitar. That's actually him existing. When you take that and put it into computer code and AI,
when you just put that into 2022, just in general, it doesn't line up, right?
It's no longer him. It's just like a code that analyzed him and tried to No, yeah, I agree. I don't like this at all. I was just curious how you felt about it.
No, but some people are going to go with it. I mean, if they look to each their own, bro. If that's what you want to do with your money, do it.
So that's the AI. And by the way, this is an ongoing theme with Media Bros Show. These last few episodes, AI is changing the realm, right? And as we're watching it, it's happening in front of our eyes. And this is another thing. You're gonna be able to build dead people and talk to them that are real. Kind of crazy, right, Aaron? It's kind of right, man. So anyway,
well, how long before you can put that into a robot and have the actual person there with you still?
I mean, that's. I mean, if you want to go Elon Musk,
maybe 50 years,
maybe we've already done it.
Maybe 2050. I mean, dude, as fast as technology is moving, we're talking about it probably won't be in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But it could be in my kid's lifetime where something like that could actually happen.
For sure. So look for the Quantum Entanglement show next week on the Media Brothers podcast.
All right, bro.
I'm just saying, and let me tell you.
MediaBrosShow.com. Follow us. Peace.
MediaBrosShow.com.